Now, Dominus Thrax is clearly someone trying very hard to make themselves look Orokin, look regal, someone trying to give off this aura of being more powerful than maybe they actually are, and a lot of you are now speculating that Thrax is in fact an alternate version of Rell, which makes sense to some degree, but I kind of think that the bigger question we should be asking is maybe who exactly is Bombastine, the character that always seems to be in the background of these reveals. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's try first and put 2 and 2 together and make 5. So make sure and watch the video to the end and share your thoughts in the comment section below. But before we do that, we're going to need to go back, all the way back to May 2017, because there are elements to some of Warframe's quests which are grimdark, everlasting and leave a mark. The Chains of Harrow and Rap Tap Tap is definitely one of those. It's a quest that so many of you will speak very fondly about. The horror element just hit right, and Wally's appearance helped us on our current path. However, it was of course just one encounter or a glimpse into the threat that is the man in the wall or the lidless eye, someone or something we've met a few times since then. It is of course a malevolent entity that had previously shown up in Albrecht and Trati's memories as a mirror image to himself, only more sinister or evil, an entity that seemingly was trying to come through from the void, something that Albrecht and Trati thought he had sealed away by smashing his Seriglass spell. Now, in our world, Rell sacrificed himself to keep the man in the wall at bay for as long as possible, a sacrifice that ultimately kept the rest of us, Tenno, safe. He suffered while we dreamt. Now, Rell eventually transferred his spirit into his Warframe Harrow in order to fight back the lidless eye, a sacrifice that drove Rell crazy and ended with us destroying his vessel to allow him to finally rest in peace. But with Rell gone, and the man in the wall growing stronger due to us no longer being asleep, and our connection to him growing, it was only a matter of time before this entity started to show up again, beholden by that which bears no name. But what of Drifter's world? How did Rell's story play out on that side? The man in the wall has a habit of trying to make deals, to shake hands. He tried with Albrecht and Trati, tried to take his hand, but Albrecht ran away from him. In the new war quest, our Tenno of course shook his hand and made a deal, which the entity called a gift. It was a gift to us. And with the new war quest ended, we know that he's not done with us. We also know that alternate versions of some of the Warframe characters in this universe exist from an alternate timeline. Our Tenno is young, but Drifter is old. We shook his hand and made a deal, but our Drifter did not. So maybe our Rell held him back, but Drifter's Rell welcomed him in. It is a nice idea, but at the same time I kind of wish that they just let Rell sleep. Now, Rell, we know, had poor emotional recognition and he suffered from sensory overload. He was autistic. He struggled with his emotions, but his mother Kay was helping him to deal with those until she went void crazy and he seemingly killed her with his new void powers. But emotions more or less ruled Rell. In his webcomic you can see him in one of the scenes where he freaks out when someone else takes his hand. So in an alternate world, if his mother wasn't around, who would keep his emotions in check? Which leads us up to Warframe's next update, the Duviri paradox, and those speculations, like I said, that a lot of the community are making. This is Dominus Thrax, described as the Child King or Mad King of Duviri in Devstream 168. Thrax is ruled by his 5 emotions, which will turn or alter Duviri to suit how he is feeling on any given moment. Emotions that he will struggle to control, much like Rell did. There is the idea that maybe Rell, like I said, took the hand of the man in the wall, received his own gift, a safe space where he wouldn't be an outcast, where he could hide behind that mask and not worry about being perceived as being weird. However, Thrax wears a blue mask, a mask to make himself look Orokin, while also adding a prosthetic elongated arm to further give off the idea or the illusion that they are in fact Orokin. However, the left hand is very much human, skin coloured, not blue. Same goes for both sets of legs beneath those knee pads. His shins look human as well, and the body shape is clearly not Orokin either. So Thrax is a human pretending to be Orokin, but is he in control, or is he just another puppet in this large show being put on by the man in the wall? Someone who is in the background making these characters play out the same spectacle every day. Each Duviri trailer has an element of a show being put on, or theatre, drama, comedy, tragedy, with of course our Drifter at its centre and Thrax as the antagonist. And in the most recent trailer, there is a kind of recognition between both Drifter and Thrax as he is on his knees after the Euroworm gets blown up, and our Drifter reaches out to take his hand, but he freaks out and rewinds time instead. So maybe Thrax is still beholden to the man in the wall and can't break his control yet, unlike Drifter, who seemingly has. But just who is Bombastine? Like I said at the start of the video, the Conductor maybe, where Drifter and Thrax both have masks which depict the comedy and tragedy masks associated with plays and theatre. Bombastine his mask is more sinister, where Thrax is pretending to be Orokin. It's very clear that Bombastine actually is Orokin. His skin is blue, his arm is elongated, it's not a prosthetic. He doesn't need props to show that he is Orokin. Was Bombastine maybe one of the Archimedans from the Zariman, or is he an Orokin doppelganger like what Albrecht and Trates was? Of course, we don't know any of this until the quest actually drops and we get to run it ourselves live, which of course I'm going to come back to in another video just to see how right or how wrong the community is up until this point. But it is very interesting to, I guess, trying to figure out just who all of these characters are and what the narrative is. Now, there is also the idea that it could just be the Void creating mirror images of Zariman members in a similar way that the man in the wall did for Albrecht and Trates with his doppelganger. In fact, it could still be Albrecht and Trates' doppelganger as Bombastine. We just don't know, but I am looking forward to the next step of the story and trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong, like I said, and wondering where it's going to lead us next, especially considering we have a new dev team in control. Now, more might be revealed this Thursday as Warframe themselves will be hosting an AMA on Reddit about all things Duviri. Rebecca, Pablo, Megan, Eric, and of course Carey will be answering any questions from the community in relation to the Duviri paradox, while I assume also not giving too much away about the story and what exactly is going on with Thrax and of course the Drifter. But I would expect maybe a little bit of clarity about upcoming systems and other things coming with the update, or even some very minor reveals. Now, the last few dev streams have given us a much deeper look into how a single run will work while in Duviri, and maybe they will go into a little bit more detail in that respect, but I'm going to be honest, I hope they keep some secrets for when the update goes live as well. It's nice to not be completely spoiled. But by all means, share your thoughts in the comment section below. Have a great day, and as always, thanks for watching.